plaintiff, Emmanuel Thompson, says he's known the defendant for over 35 years. And even though the defendant is smug and arrogant, they were more like brothers than friends. However, Emmanuel's suing him today for a collections bill. Defendant Daniel Brewer says throughout their entire friendship, he and Emmanuel have only had one disagreement. Until now. Daniel claims he was arrested after Emmanuel came to his house and caused a commotion. So he's countersuing.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
It kind of like saddens me that we're here today dealing with this issue because this is not a friendship thing. This is more like family.
Okay.
And it's caused a rift between me and somebody that's been close to me for 35 plus years. I don't call him my friend. That's my brother. But my brother did something foul to me.
Join the club.
Oh, yeah. And that's a sad thing.
100 million.
Yeah.
No doubt. Go ahead.
This dude. But, okay, so.
How have your relationship been over those decades, though?
Brothers.
You ever loaned each other money?
We, on occasion.
You all always paid each other back?
Mm-hmm. I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Slow by the answer. You don't know. Never competed with girls and he won.
Yeah, we are competitive. We them two male lions in the jungle.
Brothers. Something about a brotherhood is gonna go wrong. And as much love as there might be, it's gonna go wrong. Some stuff.
Yeah, but two alpha lions in the jungle don't work. Especially over that one tigress. So,
somebody has to give in.
Yeah.
Well, somebody need to leave.
Go ahead. Let me hear. Over the years, things have been all right though with the two of you.
We've been great. We've been good, and this goes all the way back to like 1985. I met this man in '85. I got love for his mother, his sisters, his sons are my nephews. So, something like this, from where we grew up, it's repercussions and consequences behind the stuff that you do.
Where'd y'all grow up?
That. Right here in this city.
Southeast side.
71st.
So I moved to Vegas in 2003. And I think in 2004, that's when me and my brother, we bumped heads again. I don't even refer to him as my friend. Me and my brother, we bumped heads.
It was 06.
06, 04, one of them, competitive. We bumped heads and we got along and we hung out. We liked basketball, we barbecued, holidays, everything. Hung out at the clubs. Chase women together. We did what brothers do. Mm-hmm. And, it's with him, he want to be outspoken. He's smug. He's arrogant. But that's my brother, and I accept him for it.
True brotherhood. You can talk about each other like a dog, and no problem. You're right. I talk about my brothers like a dog.
He can't never, and he don't want to be wrong. I tell him, he don't listen to me, but let a woman tell him something.
I don't listen to them either.
All ears.
No, don't lie to this in this courtroom. I don't listen to them either.
Okay,
do that. No, not in front of Judge Mathis. Don't.
No, okay.
Say don't make me a sucker in front of him.
Not in front of. I know what. He can't hide that, Judge. I can't hide that.
That ain't true.
No, that ain't true.
You do have a soft touch for them ladies, man.
You ain't no sucker, right?
Boy.
I'm far from that.
He's Superman and they kryptonite.
No.
Make them weak.
Nah.
Women bring out.
See, that's him with his tall tale. So he gonna do that. So
okay.
I'm gonna let him finish up on your relationship with him.
Well, like you say, we've been friends since '85. Since I was 10 and he 11. He got me by a year. And it was even worse. Our birthdays both in April. I'm 13, he 26. So I'm an Aries, he a Taurus. So that's a bull in the ram. You know, that's just what it is. You know, but we always been close. And it is, with this whole situation, it didn't supposed to go the way it went, but it did. Can't change it.
This is the first time you all had a significant fallout?
Yeah, we never, I mean, you know what's funny about this, Judge Mathis? When we first met each other, we was like two alphas as kids. We had one fight. We was like, remember the back of white boy Brian backyard? We had one fight.
White boy Brian.
We had one fight. And after that, I was 10, he was 11. We hadn't had no problems, no altercations, no nothing. We fought it out that day, and after that, we never ever even even tried to even.
White boy Brian whip y'all behind.
It happened in his backyard because he had a basketball court.
You know, by white boy Brian. That's even worse than being assaulted.
You gotta think about it,
White boy
Judge.
Brian beat you.
Hey, when you're growing up in Chicago, it ain't too many people got a basketball rim in their backyard.
Yeah. A real rim.
A real one, okay.
A real one, you know. So, you know, white boy
Not a
Brian.
fruit basket.
White boy Ryan was he was important to us.
Okay.
And he became a friend real quick. He got a rim in his backyard. You are a boy.
Hey, hope he got him a team now.
I don't know.
If he really want to let y'all play on his court, he's got to have a team. Is White boy Brian still alive? Do y'all know?
It's been so many years. I'm assuming he is. I'm assuming he is. But yeah, he was always. His parents was nice. You know, he was a good dude. But I mean, and it just happened to be living in a black neighborhood. That's just one of those situations.
Well, and see, that one of the things we need to know about each other. You know how white folks live through the eyes of white boy Brian. He knows how black folks live through the eyes of you and your brother. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
He know what to look for and what to look out for.
He don't listen to me, but let a woman tell him something. And he, all ears.
Now, don't lie to this in this courtroom. I don't listen to them either.
Okay,
do that. No, not in front of Judge Mathis. Don't.
No, okay.
Say, don't make me a sucker in front of him.
Not in front of. I know what. I can't hide that, Judge. I can't hide that.
That ain't true.
No, that ain't true.
Plaintiff Emmanuel Thompson is suing his former friend, who claims he was arrested after Emmanuel came to his house and caused a commotion.
Tell me about the collections bill you sued.
Okay, so at around about the end of 2019, bro was, he hit a little rough patch, and, he was having a little hard time with it, and he needed some assistance, if you will.
Can I interject?
Let him finish. Go ahead.
He needed a little assistance to maintain, what should I say? Should I say housing? And, I didn't want to see him out there. He can maintain. He maintains on his own. He's not a bum or nothing like that.
What happened this time?
I think he might have ran into a legal issue or something.
I couldn't.
He didn't pop it off on women. You said he was the sucker.
What?
Which is one step away from a trick.
Well, no, I ain't gonna say
he didn't trick it off.
No, he wasn't.
He didn't make it rain.
No, because I couldn't. No, I couldn't.
He go to the club.
I told you
at the strip club. Make it rain. Don't play crazy.
He want to say I got
act like you don't. Y'all definitely.
He want to tell me I got a weakness for the women.
Act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
He gonna tell me I got a weakness for the women. He got an appetite. You see his stomach? He got an appetite for women.
For women.
And he got a weakness too. If I'm weak, he just as weak as me then. So and he got an appetite on top of it. But that's all I'm saying.
And he got a big stomach.
He can't just put it like I'm by myself in this one.
Let's see. Get back to this.
Okay, so yeah. He and just really threw me off with the big stomach, but it's all good, bro. So
why your stomach getting big? Why nobody want you to have an appetite?
I wear it.
Why no women want you to have an appetite?
I'm trying to catch
the women want him to have an appetite.
Big sex E. That's what they call me.
Thank you.
But so he was having a little problem with housing. So I stuck my neck out for him. And
how much?
Well, it wasn't the price at that time. I wrote, I signed my name so that he can get a place to stay and operate until he get on his feet, because I knew it wasn't going to take him that long.
And what happened?
So after a couple of months, he stayed in a place, and at the end of that, I didn't hear no more about it. He then was living in another weekly, and I thought none of it. He was secure, straight, had him a place. I thought none of it. This was like in February of 2020, before the pandemic hit. So in August, he left the place, and I know because,
Okay, and he was supposed to pay you how much when he left?
He wasn't supposed to pay me. He's supposed to pay his rent.
Okay, and he hasn't. You co-signed? Is that what happened?
I co-signed.
Okay, and how much is the balance that he failed to pay?
I paid his rent for the 2 places that he stayed. I didn't even know that he was staying up under my name.
Let me hear from you, sir. He just refused to tell me how you owe him the amount for rent.
All right, I couldn't use my name at the time because it wasn't that it was eviction, but it was like I basically left an apartment complex, and it was like I had owed some money. So basically, I had got that straightened off my credit. I couldn't move into nowhere under my own name until I got that straightened out. So I asked him to do it for me. He didn't have to put no money up or nothing. I had all that covered. So what happened was the pandemic hit. So everybody lost their jobs. The place I was working at closed down. So at this point, I was only at the job maybe 5 months. I wasn't there. I was only there 4 months. So I wasn't there long enough to get my unemployment per se right away. So I had to wait till they did the pandemic.
Stimulus.
Yeah, stimulus. So in the midst of that, I'm stuck in this weekly that is in his name. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I don't want it to snowball into us too much. So I left it. Yeah. I left that weekly and I was
called skipping.
And I was basically got an apartment. So the apartment wasn't ready for a month.
How did you afford an apartment?
I got my stimulus package like everybody else.
Why couldn't you pay what you owed him then and stay in that weekly?
That's what we're finna get to.
Go ahead.
So basically, I told him I got the money now. So if I had no intention on paying him, I wouldn't have told him I got the money.
You got the money. What happened?
So what happened was he started lying, and that
started lying how?
First, he tried to tell me that they're gonna try to take his car. Now, there's nowhere in the world that if you were living in the weekly and then if you don't pay your rent or whatever the case is, that they're gonna threaten to take your car.
They can, but it ultimately can happen. They can sue him, get a judgment against him, and place a lien on his car, or go through collections, and the court can order him to give up that car or any other asset that he might have. His house. I don't know what you're thinking, just
but
because
that wasn't the case with this place. They simply sent it to collections.
Pardon me?
They simply sent it to collections with him.
You weren't listening. That's what collections does, sir.
I mean, I work in collections, so I know how it goes.
They take you to court,
but what I'm saying is,
don't they take you to court?
No, actually, they it all depends on what you're dealing with.
You still work there?
No, I'm saying that the place I work for, I don't work. I do collections for a resort. So mine, what I do is a little different from maybe third parties. So with third party, they pretty much they don't
let it go.
No, they'll come after you. They'll definitely come after you.
We can go charge up bills and they'll get a collection and just let it go.
No, they'll come after you. I'm not saying they won't.
You pop it off on women. You said he was a sucker. Which is one step away from a trick.
Well, no, I ain't gonna say
he didn't trick it off.
No, he wasn't.
He didn't make it rain.
I told you he
at the strip club. Make it rain. Don't play crazy.
He gonna say I
gotta act like you don't. Y'all definitely the strip club fiends.
Plaintiff Emmanuel Thompson is suing his former friend, who claims he was arrested after Emmanuel came to his house and caused a commotion.
How does he owe you for $2,000?
Basically, he came over my house like he want to be Debo. You know what I'm saying? He gonna come up to my house. I'm about to blow up your spot, fam. He already know I got a warrant. So I told him, like, look, if I end up going to jail behind this, you are not getting Nathaniel Jenkins. You get nothing.
Because if you're going to affect me behind it,
because I had a warrant already, he knew it. So, you know what I'm saying?
You're saying if you all fought and called the police?
He basically came over there so it could cause a commotion so the police can come. So when they come, automatically I'm going. Just because the fact they showed up.
How do you know that's why he was doing it?
Because he told me right off the back when he came in my room. Like,
he said, I'm here to start a commotion
he say,
so that the police can come.
I'm finna blow your spot up.
So that the police can come.
Make security come.
So that the police can come.
Exactly.
All right. Judgment for the plaintiff. He admits to owing you and got some shaky responses to every question I asked, and your counterclaim is dismissed. You got some shaky responses to that as well. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Man, I ain't seen my brother in a year, man. You look good.
I mean, I still love him. He my brother, man.
Yeah, we found it. You know, this one of them tough love things right now.
It is what it is, you
It's
know.
good
But I
seeing
still
him,
love
though. I
him. And
ain't
we gonna
seen
after
him in
this,
a
we
year.
gonna still do. I mean, we haven't communicated with each other at all since that happened. But now, I mean, we gonna get it back right.
Plaintiff Clarissa Whiting was hired to babysit the defendant's children because the co-defendant, the mother of his children, couldn't be left alone with the kids due to an open DCFS case. Clarissa claims while working for them, there was a lot of drama, and she's suing today for unpaid wages. Defendant Nicholas Gray and his ex-girlfriend Tara Mormon admit that they hired Clarissa because Tara could not be left alone with the children. But he insists they never agreed on a set payment amount for her services.
Start with you.
So they had contacted me back in March through a nanny app. I've been nannying for like about 3 years, I'd say. They needed somebody to stay home with the kids and the mom because the mother couldn't be home alone with the kids from a DCFS case. I had been told that she had gotten into an accident under the influence with one of the kids in the car. I agreed to watch the kids and the mom. I wasn't really there to watch the kids. It was more so I just had to be present if the mom was home. And I had agreed because they said I could bring my new infant to work with me, and I wasn't ready to leave her home alone. Or with my family, of course. But so I started that job like 2 days after.
What was the agreement on the pay?
$175 per 24-hour period.
Okay. How did things go?
They were somewhat okay, but like there was just a lot of drama involved, I think, with it, with Tara leaving. And Nick would always be calling me like at night after the kids were in bed, like saying she's cheating on him and like ask him where she is. And like I wouldn't necessarily know where she is and stuff. But there was all that. So I'd be making the kids food and stuff like that, which wasn't my job either.
Somebody, you say one of them was talking about cheating, about the other cheating?
Yeah, so they
you?
lived, yeah.
They call you and say, is my wife cheating?
So Nick would contact me saying, is my wife, or this is a girlfriend, I guess, because you were dating, there. And I'd be like, no, she's not. She left, whatever, an hour ago. And he'd ask where she is. And I'm like, I don't know. It's not like I'm keeping track of where she's going.
How did the word cheating come up? Did he ever mention that? I'm just wondering if he put you in the middle of something that he suspects regarding his wife's fidelity.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He mentioned multiple times that she was cheating.
All right. Let me hear your side. Anyone want to start?
So in March of 2021, I hired Clarissa to be a nanny for the kids. I brought the kids back from Alabama. She couldn't be alone with the children. I couldn't work. I couldn't sleep. I worked nights, so
How couldn't you sleep?
So it was a active DCFS case. That's one of the conditions DCFS made is I couldn't
Was not
sleep.
to sleep?
Right. Well, I couldn't be asleep, and I had to be present and be awake at all times.
Even at like 4 in the morning?
Well, when the kids are asleep, that's different.
Okay. I didn't hear that part. All right. Got that. And couldn't leave them alone by themselves. All right. And so what was the agreement? Was it $175 per 24-hour period?
Yes.
All right. You want to make any comments about the things she just said you would call about and put her in the middle?
So I don't remember calling and asking her, Your Honor, if my girlfriend at the time was cheating. But I did call her and ask her where she was at. And because I worked 2 hours away, I had no access to come home and find out what was going on at my house. So I wanted to know, the initial agreement was for her to be at home with the mother and the children. I didn't know where the mother was. Okay,
but it wasn't out of suspicion of cheating?
No, so we have a past history of infidelity as well.
So that means, sounds like you're saying, yes, it was regarding that.
Because I worked 2 hours away, I had no access to come home and find out what was going on at my house. So I wanted to know, the initial agreement was for her to be at home with the mother and the children. I didn't know where the mother was.
Okay, but it wasn't out of suspicion of cheating?
No, so we have a past history of infidelity as well.
So that means, sounds like you're saying, yes, it was regarding that.
Defendant Nicholas Gray and his ex-girlfriend Tara Mormon are being sued by their former nanny, who claims she was hired because Tara was not allowed to be left alone with her children due to an open DCFS investigation.
Hey, I do the same thing. I ask my staff back there. They play like they don't know. My wife goes on these walks every morning. Every morning. Leave at 8:30. Come back at 11. You ever seen anybody walk that long?
No, never.
I said, if you've been walking for 3 hours, you would be in Las Vegas gambling. One of the more recent times, she told me she was going to the store to pick something up, and it was 3 or 4 hours. So I said, you must have bought the store out. Debbie and them don't believe it. I say, check on my wife. Say, I ain't doing that. You see if she on that notorious walk. Or I'll ask Station calling for some business that I can't get to, and he'll say she's still on her walk. So we're together on that, man. Go ahead, ma'am. So let's get to the payment or the breach of contract. How did they breach the contract? I suppose is non-payment.
So they were paying pretty much what they were supposed to pay all the way until April 15th. And then that's when, they stopped giving me the full amount that they were supposed to pay on the 15th and on the 30th of every month. So it was about 13 and a half days worth of pay that they didn't pay me. He worked nights, so I'd go at 3 p.m. and stay till 3 p.m. the next day for 3 days.
Man doesn't work 24 hours yet. You have to stay there 24 hours.
When he's sleeping, I had to be there because the kids and the mom were awake, so she couldn't be alone with them.
All right. And what do you all say? Sir?
So I think in the middle of April is when we said, I told Clarissa that I couldn't afford to pay her the $175 a day that I know we had initially agreed to, because I was paying it by myself. And although I made decent money, that's a lot of money to pay someone.
What did she say?
We never agreed on the amount, Your Honor.
Did you pay her anything?
After that, I don't think I did. So I had a change in circumstance. So I lost my employment. I'm actually living out of hotels right now.
Okay, you seem like you're changing your reasons now. You're saying you didn't agree to pay her anything after the middle of April.
Well, so the initial agreement, the $175 a day, I think that's still valid. There's no date on the agreement. So I think that's a valid amount until I know that we couldn't agree on the amount, but that's probably the valid amount. I just would need more time to pay it because I don't have a job right now. Things you're saying are confusing, but I'm glad that you admit that you owe her and just unable to pay at this moment. But at least you say it was $23.80. So judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day. I'm sorry this happened. So I talked to the kids. The kids are glad that you're still in their life. So I appreciate everything you've done.
Yeah, they're definitely still in our lives. So I love the kids.
Plaintiffs Jermel English and his wife, Essence Legrone, rented an apartment from the defendant, and they claim she's rude and disrespectful. They're suing because they claim the defendant has been overcharging them for their electric bill since they moved in. Defendant Tamika Walker insists this entire lawsuit is ridiculous, and she never overcharged the plaintiffs for anything. Tamika is countersuing for emotional distress and defamation of character.
Start with you all.
I am Essence Legrone. I'm a tenant of Tamika's. I don't know her personally. I started to rent from her in February of 2021.
What was the agreement?
The agreement was that I would pay $1,100 monthly for 1 year. We moved in February. Immediately after, I started to see red flags, Shauna. About 2 weeks into moving in, me and my husband were actually finally settled into the apartment, and we were celebrating. And we hear a bang, 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 bang at the door. It's Tamika. and she's yelling. You're letting the boys, which are my kids, take out the trash, and they're leaving trash throughout the alleyway. It's gonna cause me to be fined. And she's yelling and she's screaming. And I'm just like, Tamika, calm down. First of all, my kids barely even take out trash. My husband does. And I'm quite sure he's not leaving it in the alleyway. After that, Your Honor, maybe like a week later, I believe, the refrigerator went out. When the refrigerator went out, Tamika had a repairman to come out. While the repairman was there fixing the refrigerator, Tamika, again on her rampage, starts to scream and yell, but she's yelling at the refrigerator guy. And I'm like, I go into the kitchen like, what's going on? Tamika, he's telling me that this is going to be replaced, and even if it's not fixed, I'm going to have to pay him regardless. And this is just too much. It's so overwhelming, and just throwing a tantrum like in the house. I'm like, Tamika, you cannot continue to act this way. We have a professional relationship. We have to act accordingly.
That's how it ended, that incident. And that's the only problems you've had thus far before the issue at hand?
Yeah, we didn't stay in the building together too much longer.
Defendant Tamika Walker is being sued by her tenants, who claim Tamika has been overcharging them for their electric bill since the day they moved in.
Let me hear from you, ma'am.
First of all, I would like to say thank you for even being in your presence. Second of all, I would like to apologize for such ridiculous and frivolous lawsuit given from the defendant. As she stated, I am the landlord, they are the tenants. But in a nutshell, just to give you like some background on myself, from 2020 to 2021, it was insane. January 2021, I witnessed my sister commit suicide in front of me. And then there were 2 other traumatic situations that happened within a 6-month span. So with that being said, I had enough. It was a priority for me to change scenery and for me to, find a closer relationship with God and to get my mental health intact. So that is how I became in the position to rent out my whole entire building. So that is why the apartment that they rented was even available.
She said the tenancy began going wrong almost immediately when you came over yelling about the garbage. And then a couple of weeks later, they witnessed you yelling at the refrigerator guy. What do you want to say to that?
I understand that it's completely fabricated, that it's completely nonsense.
None of this happened, is your point?
No, I'm not saying that it did not happen. I'm saying the details. I'm saying the details. And
you tell me the details.
Okay, I got 2 new tenants that moved in at the same time. They're responsible for putting the trash in the trash can. Trash was not properly being put in the trash can. I went to everyone in the building and had the same conversation. There's no need for me to yell and...
That's not true.
Her children?
I didn't accuse her children. I had a conversation with the parents. Like,
did you tell the parent, I think it's your children doing it?
No, I did not.
I'm just asking you. Don't talk to me with contempt. No, I did not. I'm going to ask you a lot of stuff that you might not like. All right?
Of course.
Good. All right. How about the refrigerator incident?
The issue at hand is we did a walkthrough, correct, in February when she first moved in. So she's saying that the refrigerator is not working, the stove is not working, the water. And what I'm trying to explain to her is that's incorrect because you guys haven't even been here more than a month. So if anything are being damaged or like destroyed, like you guys have to take some type of accountability.
They didn't say anything about that.
Yeah.
Her allegation was that they witnessed you verbally abusing or going off on the refrigerator guy.
I promise you, Your Honor, that did not happen. Because my repair people, we have a rapport with. So they're on, like, it's a contract.
She lied. It didn't happen at all. All right. And tell me about the specific things you're suing for today.
Okay, first of all, Your Honor, I'm suing for emotional distress. I'm suing because Tamika has a 2-unit building. She's renting the 3rd unit, which is the basement that is connected to my apartment. So she stays underneath me, but her entryway is inside of mine. So she told me that I was paying for the entryway light and gave me a $25 credit from February until August. In July, I was given a disconnection notice. I would be disconnected for failure to pay. The reason why I didn't pay the light bill, Your Honor, is because it was extremely high. Over and over again, every single month, the light bill will go up.
You have 1 month?
I'm sorry.
You have some...
I got plenty. I have plenty of them.
What pages?
37.
37.
Page
Shows
37.
one of the bills. Perhaps looking at a couple of them. This month was 93. On March of 21, there was a $182 bill. So you're right, that's double.
Yeah,
It
and-
doubled in 1 month.
And it constantly went up, Your Honor.
And
It
when you ask
alarmed
her,
me.
what did she say?
Oh, I didn't know. I still didn't ask
Why
her.
wouldn't you ask?
Because I just paid the bill. I didn't find out until July when it kept going up to so high to the point that I wasn't able to afford it
When it
anymore.
goes up double, it's when you ask.
Yeah, but
Go right ahead.
I didn't think
Go right
about that,
ahead.
Your Honor.
You
So
paid double.
in July, I received a disconnection notice. I confronted Tamika about the light bill on August 19th. I just told her that the $25 credit that she was giving me wasn't enough. It was extremely high. It was too high that I couldn't afford it, that she would have to give me more monthly towards the bill because obviously I'm paying for more than just the room that she told me that I was.
Where's her response at?
She didn't say anything until August the 30th when it was time for rent to be due for the month of September. Then she responded.
You read.
Page 18, Your Honor, she says to me, hey, can you, on September the 7th at 6:21, hey, can you send the rent?
What page again?
Page 18. Hey, can you send the rent or do you want me to proceed with eviction work? I said, I'm not sending anything until I'm no longer being charged electricity for a unit I do not
What
occupy.
page is that? That's 18?
It's 18. Yes, sir.
Defendant Tamika Walker is being sued by her tenants, who claim Tamika has been overcharging them for their electric bill since the day they moved in.
They've shown me a light bill, and you have to explain this. Hopefully you have it.
The reason her bill initially was the $698 whatever
93,
dollars is because that was prior to her adding her bill from a previous address to a payment plan, and that is what ComEd told me.
That is from the months of
That
February
is
when
why
I
you
moved
get
in.
what I'm saying. So you see in the beginning,
When did she move in?
so she moved in February.
This bill was issued February 4th for $93.
So then that's not for my address. That's the proof that she transferred services, and then they're breaking down.
How is it proof?
Basically, she had utilities turned on prior to she moved in on February 1st.
Yeah, and I don't see any evidence of that.
So when you transfer services,
I understand. Do you have evidence of that?
that's how it works.
I asked you, do you have evidence? Don't keep
No,
telling
Your
me
Honor,
how
I'm
it
sorry.
works and this is what happened.
You're
You
right.
have the burden of proving that, ma'am.
Your Honor, you
that
asked
they
me to
carried
prove-
it over because she denies it.
Well,
You
if
asked-
we just
you
look
asked
at
me
the usage and like the payments,
You read everything you want me to know. You read it. You prove it. Go ahead.
No, I'm not proving it. I'm just saying the numbers.
Not proving it? Well, let's move
No, the
on.
numbers from
You
my
gotta
bill.
prove it, man. What makes you think you don't have to prove
I
things?
apologize.
I
I'm trying
keep
to
telling you, don't apologize. Prove.
Yes, Your
Do you
Honor.
have evidence? I have a stack of evidence from you. I keep asking you for evidence, and you keep telling me that's just how it goes. And I keep telling you that's not how it goes in court.
I'm sorry.
You
I
have to
was going
show
off the
evidence
date.
in court. Do you have evidence that it was carried over,
was
the
going-
$93? Do you or not?
No, I do not.
All
I
right, so
can't.
we're over that part. $182 was for the 1 month. New charges.
1 month.
March. That's for the month of March. And the only carryover from February was $20. What do you say the charge was in March?
Your Honor, I can't give some specifics on that because
You
it's
don't
a
have a
personal-
copy of the bill?
It's her bill.
It's
I don't
my
have- it's
the
her
bill is
Okay.
it's my electric bill.
And
That's
have
not
you
hers.
shared it with her?
No, but Your Honor,
Why?
because she knows what's going on.
And
No,
she
how? We
asked.
just said she
Thank
can't
you,
get
Your
the
Honor.
bill. How does she know?
I sent her a text message of the light
the bill
Thank you.
itself.
The light bill, yes, I sent her a
That's
text
what I'm
message.
asking you. You said no.
I
What
said-
page? What page? Because if she doesn't know, how can you expect her to change
Oh, she
something?
knows.
All right, well, show me she knows. Show me. Show me.
No problem.
Yeah. Your counterclaim, how do they owe you for defamation and emotional distress? $5,000.
From beginning to end, this whole business situation, this lease situation was supposed to be black and white. Everything that was agreed upon is in a lease. All of this.
Where's the lease?
They have the lease.
What page?
What the issue is, like,
Page
I
55, Your Honor.
can't. Since when is the landlord responsible for the utilities from the tenant? I'm not responsible for her electricity bill.
Resident agrees to pay all utilities.
Thank you.
Okay, and then if you
Why am I
refer to page
responsible?
17, Your Honor, you'll see.
No, I'm going with the lease.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
talk about that.
I am responsible for the utilities. I'm
Okay,
responsible
you're
for the
saying that
utilities
you're
in my
paying the
unit,
others, right.
not the unit that
But
she's
yet
rented to
do
the
you have
basement.
something where you send her that?
Oh, yes, page 17, Your Honor, September 4th, 4:16
What
p.m.
it
It says, I need to be compensated for these past months from February, and then there's a picture of the electric bill that I
Okay,
sent
good.
her.
That's what you need. And what'd she say?
Her response was, "That's not how it works. We have nothing else. I told her we have nothing else." This page 18, Your Honor. She says, "FYI, every unit says multi-unit unless you are in a house." I say, I already compared my bill to Kia's bill, and hers says single.
Defendant Tamika Walker is being sued by her tenants, who claim Tamika has been overcharging them for their electric bill since the day they moved in.
And you say they owe you how, ma'am?
For
Emotional distress?
for emotional distress for the simple fact she
For
wanted
being
me.
bad tenants?
No, sorry, no, Your Honor. She wants
what?
me to be responsible for her utility bills, which in the lease she agreed
that's
that
not
I'm
what
not
I'm
responsible for.
That's
First
not
of all.
what I'm asking.
That's
Second
not
of
what
all,
she's saying
That's
at all.
not what I'm saying.
That's not what she's saying at all.
I've hired 2 separate lawyers to find a middle ground for us to get to a meetings of the minds about this situation, about this. What it is, essence, she begins very agitated when things, or when I say things that don't like work in her favor. And I have threats, I have witness statements, I have lawyers.
Where are the threats?
that
Direct me to the threats.
I have lawyers that I have.
I understand all that. Direct me to the threats.
On page
read
40.
it. Read it. You read it.
Okay. She says, on page 15, so there's a lot of phone.
Please read the threat.
You consistently accusing me and my kids of already doing stuff that was already done. We had a phone conversation. She was yelling and cursing. I said, I don't understand why you keep snapping on me like this. And last night I told you that everything would be fixed by today. She's going throughout the building telling that
Please get to the threats. You say you were going to read something where she threatened you. Please read that.
I talked to Tracy and I made it aware that I'm paying the whole electricity bill for the whole building. You're gonna have to take more out of the rent than just $75. Starting immediately on the 1st.
Last time, read something where she threatened you.
I'm calling the inspectors. You have multiple violations and building code violations. I'm calling the inspectors. 311 getting involved.
So because she told you she was going to call the inspectors about what she views are a house in disrepair, you view that as a threat? As something that caused you emotional distress?
No, she told me when I came up dealing with one tenant, she came to me, Tamika, I'll beat your.
You said you have it in text. Read it. Read it where she threatened to harm you.
It was in verbal.
Oh, okay. No, you lifted up your paper. You said you were going to read it. Have a good day. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Bye. I understand. Have a good day, ma'am.
You're a liar.
Have a
now
good day.
justice will be served. I'm so glad.
You have past due balances and stuff. You want me to be responsible.
I don't have a past due balance anymore because I've caught up now thanks to you because my lights were disconnected.
It's okay. Your lease is up in 2 months. Find somewhere to stay.
I will. I'm happy to. I'm happy to, Tamika. I am happy to, baby.